these muffins now that I told you about after the wine video. This is going to be Cantaloupe Apricot. All right, we need 1.5 cups of flour. We're going to use all-purpose this time. And where am I going to get the bees? We're going to put some wheat germ in here, so that's where we're going to get it. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I better get that out. Yeah, I'm going to need that. Okay, you're going to need 1/3 cup of wheat bran. I don't think oat would go well with this one. I'm going to use what I have. I'm afraid I have enough here. So I have to put molasses on my shopping list for next week. I just went shopping. I just used my molasses. I'm going to be using the last of my brand. Let's see if I can get this in here and go this way. Okay. 1/3 cup of bran. Oh, I still have more. You're going to put 3 tablespoons of wheat germ. It could be raw wheat germ or toasted wheat germ. And good morning, everyone. I told you I'd be back. I just had to, I said an hour, hour and a half. I did it in an hour. I was cleaning up my mess, getting another load of clothes on. All right, you have to set your oven to 400. That's something you should always do first, and grease a muffin tin. All right, what's next on this list? We need 1/4 cup of sugar. You need 2 tablespoons of light brown sugar. And 2 tablespoons of dark brown sugar. By the way, when you make your own light and dark brown sugar, it never goes bad, it never goes hard, and you make it as you need it, so it's always fresh, so there's no waste in that department. All right. You want 2 teaspoons of nutmeg. Hi, Jesus. Baking powder, 2 teaspoons. You need 2 teaspoons of baking powder, because these are going to be heavy. We don't get enough lift in them. Good morning. All right, salt. We're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Okay, for those of you who buy your baking powder, you're also going to have to add a whole teaspoon of baking soda. If you make your own baking powder, which I showed you, you do. Thank you for the heart, Jesus. You do not have to worry about it. Only for the people who buy it in the store, because they have a retard in the baking powder. I don't have that retard, so you have to sit there and you can bypass the baking soda. You don't have to worry. Hi, Casey. Okay. Now I told you everything that's in here. We're going to mix this up. I'll have to write this recipe down or I'm going to forget it again. So I'll catch it. I'm done. Make sure you break that light and dark brown sugar up. So I hope you're having a wonderful day today. So many of you are so quiet. All right. We're getting some apricots now. All right. 1 cup. I don't know if I have a cup here. We'll find out, because I don't know. And dice them up. We need a cup. I'm going to try to get a cup. Cantaloupe apricot muffins. That's what I'm making. You need cantaloupe butter to make this recipe. So I have to wait till cantaloupe grow, and then I'll show you how to make your own cantaloupe butter. Because the cantaloupes in the store are too green, but when you grow them and they get ripe, oh my God, the flavor is so different. Like I told you, we used to eat corn off the stalk because when it was ripe, oh, the only thing you had to worry about were the husking it to make sure that you got the worm out so you could eat it. Thank you, Jesus. I had promised you this a while back, but there's so many things. That's why I said I better not say next week because this isn't working. Just say what's coming up, meals that will be coming up, so you have an idea what's coming up. And I'm trying to think of what you would like next to come cook with me, or what we should do. And I'm thinking which nuts I want to use. Do you have a preference on nuts on this? Laura, good morning. See, a lot of people use cookies for snacks. I use muffins for snacks because you can make them so healthy for your family. But I also know people will do what they will do, and they will. I tell you what's really funny is one of my sons was carrying on about something, and I said, "Do you know all liquor is sugar? So when you have liquor, your pancreas has to work overtime, and that's sugar in there, and you can't get into REM and stuff." And he gave me the same excuses everybody else gives me, and I said, "I'll be dang." He who knows so much that I have them in the kitchen, and he comes back with that statement for me. And I said, I didn't believe he did that. We're making cantaloupe apricot muffins. And I'm going to have to write this recipe down because I'm sure I'm going to forget it. So I'm going to have to start writing some of these recipes down that I have in my head because I can't remember. By the way, the sandwiches got a great review. They are really, really good. And my sons who usually eat two said, I could only have one. I barely got the other half down. I said, really? Yeah, Laura, that's what I'm making. No, this is cantaloupe butter that actually is going to take the place of the cantaloupe. And I don't like the taste of the cantaloupes in the store. They're not right. So I'm going to grow them again and make some cantaloupe butter. And I will show you how to make cantaloupe butter. I'm sure if we put our minds to it, we could make papaya. Get a big papaya or two, cook it down, and make a butter out of it. Hey, I go there. Hello, Castro and Pretty Cat. So why not, you know? I think mango butter would be a little more expensive because there'd be a lot of mangoes you'd have to use. And they'd probably want you to strain it so you could get top prize. Hold on, I'm drinking some juice. My girlfriend said, Sandy, get the eggs here. I said, what? She said, look, you can get a dozen eggs and you can get this juice. It was orange mango juice. And what else did she say to get? And she says it'll cost you a flat rate. Other than that, it'll cost more. I said, oh, okay. So I did. And I drank that juice. I'm not sharing it with my sons. If they find it, well, it's mine. All right, I'm out of apricots. We're supposed to have a cup. I don't know if I have a cup yet. But I can't wait to try my coffee pot. I want you guys to see my espresso pot. I've got it over there. I'm reading up on it. So we can make exotic coffees from around the world. I'm going to need this because we've got to do nuts. Pecans or walnuts? You have 5 minutes. Tell me what you want. Pecans or walnuts in this. I'm going to drag you into my kitchen with me. Coat your fruit. Okay? Because if you don't, they're going to sink to the bottom and you don't want them to. And the batter will stick to flour. Now remember, the seasonings we're using is nutmeg, cantaloupe, and apricot. So which nuts do you want? Well, I get the liquid ingredients together. You're going to have to use 2 eggs, and you're going to have to use a mild oil. I wouldn't use corn on this. I think it'd interfere. I'd go safflower or sunflower. I know a lot of you will also use a canola. I won't use that. I know the body needs a little bit of it, but to put that much in is too much for the body, and I don't want to do that. I know Crisco oil. I don't know what Crisco. I know they cook that out of the plants. So, but I'll use safflower of that. 5. Oh, it's getting warm, Matthew. You were below. Okay, come on. I asked you guys, which ones do you want, pecans or walnuts? You better hurry up. All right. We need 1/3 cup of oil. You're going to tell me you don't want to join me in all this? Here I am asking for your opinion to throw it in. Because that's how you learn, just trying. Think of the flavors. We're using nutmeg as a seasoning. All right, we need 1/3 cup of oil. We are going to need 1/2 cup of the cantaloupe butter that I made. The rest of this is going to go into a yogurt for another day. Unless I can think of something else I want to do with it. Pecans. If you're from North America, they say pecans. In the South, we say pecans. Okay? So that's how you know I'm from the South, because I say pecans. When my husband said pecans, I said, what in the name of God? Don't you know how to speak? So let me get my pecans out and we'll mix them up. Let me see. I got the oil. I got the eggs. I've got my cantaloupe butter in there. Okay. Let me get the pecans. Okay, Sandra. Where'd you put that? I know I bought more pecans. Where in the name of God did I put them? Okay. Good morning, Jethro, Matthew, Mohammed. No, I am making muffins. Cantaloupe, apricot muffins. 2/3? I might want to put more in. Okay, now I want. Well, I might have enough. Oh, put a 1/2 cup of nuts in. I'm going to finish it. Bypass the 1/3. I want more nuts in mine. That's it. I'm done. Don't chop them too fine. Just like when I came up here in Texas, if you say rat cheese, it means cheddar cheese. So I sat there and I went to a store and I wanted some cheddar cheese, and I asked the deli, could I have rat cheese? You should have seen the look on his face. My husband jumped so fast, she means cheddar. In the South, I could go to the store and say rat cheese, please. They knew exactly what I wanted. All right. You're going to take your nuts and put them in the dry ingredients and coat them as well. I'm pretty much done with this now. Why did I put it here? It goes over here. If you don't have a whisk, you can use a fork. Okay. Now I am making cantaloupe apricot muffins this morning. Yes, they're learning. My son is going to learn to make a vinegar cream sauce, mixing cream, milk with lemon. They'll curdle. If you're not careful, he's going to learn to do that today. It does. Now you'll notice I need a fork. I'm still gonna need it. You'll notice the oil, the eggs, and the cantaloupe butter. You'll have chunks of cantaloupe in it, but that's fine. Hi, Young from Tennessee. Make a well in the middle. The biggest trick about making this inside the muffins, the pecans, when you make muffins, the whole trick of this thing, like I tell you with biscuits, handling is the problem. You don't want to handle it. This you do not want to mix all the way. If you mix this all together, your muffins are going to turn flat. So always be aware of that. That is the trick of getting these muffins to rise. There's always a few tricks. Just like cakes, you got to make sure that you cream. If you don't cream right, your cake will not be as good as it's supposed to. So there's tricks to everything you do. Like if you don't beat your bread enough, kneading it and with a mixer or by hand or spoon, they do not come out as light as they're supposed to be. But then the rule is broken when you're using wild or old flour instead of the ones that we use today. So when you go to make sourdoughs, you've got to treat that different. Matter of fact, while these are cooking, I want to make buttermilk English muffins, so I'm going to start my sourdough for that. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. That is not mixed all the way, okay? Czech biscuit is my fave. Okay. Yeah, Young. A lot of people are telling me about that biscuits and gravy. My mother was not real big on gravies, so I know how to make them. I don't make them a lot, but I did make them for the cube steaks. Just a very simple one. But you can go crazy with seasonings, you know, with gravies, just like you can anything else. Just like that pork roast with the apricot and shallot stuff. Oh my God, it was beautiful. It really just came out nice. And when you slice it, you can see all the fruit in the middle. It was so colorful. You know, I couldn't buy muffins in the store. I would be really thoroughly upset. They don't have a variety. They don't have anything. That's why I would say make stuff yourself. You can go crazy in the kitchen with all these recipes and stuff. They're probably sitting in your head once you know what you're doing in the kitchen. You see me, I sit there and say, should we try this? Yeah, I ask you, should we try it? Why not? Let's go there. You know? Maybe somebody else thought of it. I don't know. Maybe somebody already thought of this recipe. I don't know. But I thought of this and I put it in my proportions and how I want it to go. So see? A lot of people can make the same dish, but everybody does it different and adds different things, which changes everything around. Okay. No, there's not. In my house, they never know what they're going to get. I mean, I just found celery root. I finally got a recipe. I had to go and ask the guy, what is a celery root? Because I had never seen one. He says, that's it. I said, is that what that thing is? You know, I don't know everything, so sometimes when I get a recipe, it's the first time I ever got one that said celery root. So it was new for me. And I said, that knobby job is it? He said, that's the knobby job. That's it. I said, okay. these are cooking, I've got to get that sourdough culture going. Well, the first rise. Sourdough breads are different. You have to treat them different. You fold them more than kneading them, which is interesting. You wouldn't guess it, but you do. Especially if you use ancient grains. I'm still learning that folding technique. It drives me crazy. Okay. We'll get these in the oven, and they're going to bake about 20 minutes. And now I can get my sourdough going. I think sourdough, buttermilk sourdough, will be very interesting. Okay, I need my... Okay, these will not be finished being made till tomorrow. Good morning, Hyper, Mac, Matthew, Mr. Matt. Good morning to everybody. And, okay. And. Which culture do you want me to use? All right, sponge culture. This is my sponge culture. And this is sourdough. I have to stir it down before I measure it out. And we need a half a cup of this. I'm sure a lot of you don't have your sourdough culture, but if you do, and you want to make this, by all means. They're rising right now before I feed them, because I feed them. Sandra, check the time. All right, 30 and 20 is 50. Okay. And with this, we're going to add 1 cup of water from the faucet. Do not use anything else. If you use anything else, like milk and stuff, it will not work. To get this proofed, it takes 2 12-hour proofings, so you have to use water during those proofing times. Okay, how much water am I going to put in here? One cup of water. Really, girl? Yeah, I know. I shouldn't have, but I did. And I'm going to add 1.5 cups of all-purpose flour to this. As soon as I try this measuring cup. Then we're going to beat this, mix it very well. set this in a warm place. I'm going to set it in the dining room, which is a nice temperature. And I'm just going to let it rise. Then I'll feed it this evening. If you have your culture and you're making this with me, this evening you'd add 1 cup of flour and 1/4 of a cup of water. When you beat it down again, and then tomorrow morning this will be put together with buttermilk. This has got to be good. I mean, the sourness will come out stronger because you have the buttermilk and you have this culture. So it should be very interesting how it's going to come out. I might even go to the point of making sour cream ones too. You know, we meet a lot. What about a light whole wheat sour cream sourdough culture English muffin? Well, that sounds good too. We're making muffins, and this is going to be buttermilk English muffins tomorrow morning. Yes, I have recipes for that too, Mac. To your mom, man, she's brave to do that. My wisdom teeth are laying sideways underneath the skin. I'm leaving mine in my head because everybody gets those things pulled. So to your mom, I'm going to say, you're brave. You're very brave, Matthew's mother, because I don't like people doing that. Okay, that's set. So it's 1/4 of a cup of water and 1 cup of all-purpose flour this evening, and then tomorrow morning we'll make those. Okay, I've seen you do everything with you. Hi, Tim. We're making cantaloupe apricot muffins, and I just put my first rising on sourdough buttermilk English muffins. And I told them what we have to do. And next, what's going on? Because I have time. 35. Yeah, I'm going to feed my cultures until 9. When you make your own sourdough culture, you have to use bread flour, which is known as winter wheat. And they have to be fed to keep these. Once you get your cultures going, you're going to have to feed them every day. And you feed them with the same thing unless you're making bread. I don't mind, Mac. Yeah, it sounds like it's going to be good, you know? All right. I know you've seen me using a lot of spoons. You never have enough wooden spoons either. Okay, we're going to put this in the other one. This is my discard. I don't feed it. This is what you see me coating things with and everything else. When my cultures get too much in the jar, I pour them into my discard and I cook with it. Use it in place of milk. I use it in place of yogurt. If I'm making, it can go for biscuits. I've used it for quick breads. I've used it in a lot of things. See, I could leave a long list. does is I don't feed it, so it's going to die. But discard. And then you can use it in pancakes, waffles, you know, or you can coat meat instead of using flour, use it, and it sticks like glue, which is really good. Okay. Now we gotta go this way. Turn it back. All right, for your sponge culture, you need 1.5 ounces of bread flour for feeding. Oh God, I need this. Don't fall. And you need 2 ounces of, come on. I don't know why this keeps on acting up. I'm getting angry with it. 2 ounces of cold water. That's its feeding every day. This is just for the sponge culture. Hi, Nina. Big. Now this is a sponge culture. Now it takes 2 tablespoons of bread flour and 1.5 tablespoons of cold water every day. So you can see the ratios are a little different according to what you're doing. South Africa, Nina, I think you're the first, at least to tell me from South Africa. Hi, Shane. We're making muffins. What do I know about frosting cakes? They look horrible. I'm not a good froster, but my cakes always taste delicious. I'm not real good at frosting. Like I said, I feed everybody before I get there. Well, Big, I'm glad you're good at it because I'm not. And a C4 backpack. I think you guys are talking to each other. One. Okay. Now that you two and everybody's talking to everybody else. Okay, it's wait time now. Nothing more we can do. Power, I'm doing very well. Boo, it is. I hope so. I always try to make it. Yeah, we do a lot of talking at this table. It's comfortable in here, you know, if people want coffee or something, it's all made right here and they can talk while it's being done. People used to do that before, but people don't do a lot of things anymore because women aren't in the house anymore. So that's a problem. They used to say, they probably don't say it anymore because it's not true, but they used to say the heart of a home is the kitchen. When you, listen, KF, if you sit there and walk into a woman's kitchen, that's her domain. If she cooks and you don't listen to her, she'll throw you out. I run this kitchen. This is my kitchen. Though I'm teaching my sons, and they have, I'll give them time to think of ideas and stuff. Well, what do you want to do? Let me see. But I run it, and I'll throw them out. I'll throw anybody out of my kitchen. When you take over and think that you own my kitchen, you're walking on territory you don't want to walk on, especially if she loves cooking. Don't damage her pots. Don't do this. Clean up, pick up after yourself, and everything else. They say that I grew up, the heart of a family or a home, because home is family, is the kitchen. Hi, Krista. Shane. Carol. Well, you know it's true. A lot of people don't like what I say, especially a lot of young people. They don't like what I say. We're not having that, Carol, sorry. Though I did mix a lot of things up and came up with hamburgers. Kitchen. Mag, you're allergic to cooking? Okay. Wilder. Thank you, Wilder. Carol. Yeah. Well, I'm going to get ready to take these muffins out. Oh, when I'm done here, I'm going to have to remember how I made these muffins so I can write down the recipe so I'll remember it. Oh, I haven't had, Tony, banana. I have not had banana pudding in a long time. I'm going to check these. I hope they don't fall. Please don't fall. Okay. Okay, here they are. See, they did rise. That's why they rise. Don't overmix them. Now I have to let these cool a bit before we can break one. Well, we're actually going to just spread it to open up because it can still collapse back into dough, and that's not what we want. We want them to cool a few minutes. As I put stuff up. Because I've got to make pasta this morning. I'm making the pasta. I meant to buy it because I didn't think we were going to have time because I've got so much to do today, but I forgot to put it on the shopping list. Now we need to get molasses. Okay. They smell delicious. Hi, Queen. Hi, Tony. Good morning to all of you. We just have to wait for these a bit. Would you believe I have a dishwasher and I find it useless? A dishwasher is useless. Every time they say, just do it once a day, put the dishes in there and clean them. And I said, right. Well, the problem is I need the equipment that's in the washing machine, in the dishwasher. So I said, I'm better off washing them, drying them myself, and then reusing them. Yeah, that's a lot. Listen, those molars are back there with a lot of nerves, and that hurts. Yeah, Thanksgiving. Yeah, Isaac. It's much easier. I can get to my equipment all the time, and I pay for this stupid thing in here. And I quit using it after a year. I said, this is ridiculous. The only time it's any good for me, but they say you have to use it every day. If you don't use it every day, the tubing where it hooks up that goes into the sink will cause a clog, and then you have to call the plumbers in. And I said, well, that's ridiculous. I can just run water myself. Yeah, those wisdom tooths are the back, very, very back one. I don't even have room for them. Okay. Test time. Now, because I use wheat, you remember they're going to be a little darker on the bottom when you use whole grains. You see that? Now, when you do these, you don't cut these. You don't do this. You have to pry these. Hold them gently and pry them apart unless they're cold. Then you can cut them. Well, I'm not using it. It's sitting here. When I revamp, if I ever get the money to revamp this kitchen, I will revamp it and remove it. So you hold it gently and you pry it open when they're hot like this. And that's what they look like on the inside. You see that? And you see they're still hot. Good morning, Snap. DR. Wintress. Cantaloupe butter and apricot muffins. I'm going to have to write this recipe down or I'm going to forget it. They're good. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, they're really good. They are hot. See, they are really good. Winter is cantaloupe butter and apricot. Now, they do not sell a cantaloupe butter. You have to make that. I can't make it till my cantaloupes grow, and that's going to be in the summer. You seem to have nice memories, DR. If you have memories like that and wish she was still, didn't you remember her cooking? It's a place where women can be extremely creative, or they can be extremely destructive. Now, when you take your muffins out of the tin and they hang over the edge, they're going to stick. If you don't grease them well enough, they're going to stick as well. Thank you, DR. Tony, good morning. Mm. These are some of the easiest things to make, but people always make that one mistake of over mixing them and they always collapse. Which is really sad. I remember making the attempt at it. I told my mother, keep collapsing. She said, I told you, don't over mix them. Don't mix them all the way. I hear young women say, I'm not going to follow a recipe. And then they wonder why their dish isn't that good. I'll cool these. And then set them for them to snack if I don't eat them all. They're really good. Now, as you can see, I'm having my breakfast. What did I do? I had juice, I had coffee, now I'm going to eat another muffin. I don't sit down in the morning between feeding the cultures, feeding the animals, and everybody else and trying to get stuff going for the next day of stuff. I'm very, very busy. Okay, Shane. Enjoy your breakfast. Saw it. These are really good. When you make cantaloupe butter, you can leave it plain or anything, but nutmeg goes very well with it, so always remember that. Thank you, Matthew. Your cat's big. I've got one cat that's getting fat. His older brother was really chunky, and then he decided to go on a diet with all the hugs and kisses and love he's getting from everybody. And his brother, who's younger than him, is filling out in all directions. And I said, you're not going to be able to run much more, young man. Well, listen, I'm going to let you go because I have more clothes to do. I can hear my washing machine is not running, so I know it's time for me to go do that. But listen, all of you, take care. Am I going to be back? It might be a video because my sons do not like doing lives. They like videos, okay? Which I get upset about. So I don't know. I'm going to try to do a live with him, but if he puts up a resistance, it'll be a video, okay? So listen, you take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.